This is Holistic Approaches to Support in Childhood Obesity, and I'm Dr. Laura Ricci, and I'm so glad that you guys are all here. We are going to have a lot of fun together. And before we start, I'd just like to let people know that this is not intended to be medical advice. What I'm sharing is education from my own research and experience and training, and I encourage you to partner with your healthcare professional to make decisions that feel best for you, and also tune into your own intuition and your own inner wisdom with all of this. That's really important. So I'm going to talk about my journey first, and it's not really related to childhood obesity, but my background, my doctorate is actually in physical therapy. And so I get asked very often, how did you get into functional nutrition and women's health and essential oils? And I'm a wounded healer. It's from my own personal journey. So it was almost exactly 7 years ago today. So October 11th, 2011, I was diagnosed with an extremely rare sarcoma called a desmoid tumor. 2 to 4 out of a million people get them. It was the size of a softball in my abdominal wall. With odds like that, I should have bought a lotto ticket, right? I was in my 20s and diagnosed with cancer, and that knocked me flat on my feet. I was told that I should never have children because of estrogen receptors that the desmoid tumor had, and also they had to completely reconstruct my abdominal wall, and they were like, physically, that just would not hold. I went to MD Anderson Cancer Center. That's what you do when you are a rare unicorn, and they have a whole team of sarcomas training. They specialize in sarcomas, and they told me you have a 50% chance of recurrence. And I didn't like those odds. That was like flipping a coin. So I wanted to know what I could do to prevent this from coming back. And that led me to get my own health coach, to learn about functional nutrition, to change my diet. I saw so many things in my life improve. I became open to natural remedies like essential oils. And as a physical therapist, I thought about all those patients that I would see in the clinic that got about 75% better, and they were still having pain. And I was thinking, this is inflammation. And there are tools that we have with diet, with lifestyle changes that we can affect that. And I was fascinated by it. So I went in to learn more about that, was later diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2015. And again, went on this healing journey. And I found that what worked best for me personally was going back to nature. And that was honoring my body, looking at the food that I was eating, literally detoxifying my life. From the chemicals that I was putting on my skin, to the food, to the negative people. You guys know what I'm talking about. All of that had to go. We had to kick it to the curb, and we had to create from the foundations up, healing from within. So that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about, because I'm all about empowering people. And where that comes from is the basics. And I have this really, I wish you guys could see this. Try organic food, or as your grandparents called it, food. Okay? Our food has changed. Our food has changed a lot. It's now genetically modified. We now have all these other things going on, and that's very different than what our grandparents were raised on. So I want to encourage you to add before you take away. So add in the good stuff. Add in more nutrient-dense foods. Crowd out the bad. That means more vegetables. Your mama was right. More leafy greens. Try new vegetables and cook with them in a different way. For example, my husband hates raw cauliflower, but he loves it roasted with some olive oil and some garlic salt and some chili powder. It's really good. So play with that. Drink more water. So before I'm going to tell you, hey, stop eating everything, we're going to come from a place of abundance, and we're going to add it all in. Okay, next, eat a rainbow. So you want to see all the colors on your plate, right? Go for variety. Really, ideally, they recommend, the World Health Organization recommends 9 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. How many people are doing that? That's okay. And I want you to start slowly, because if you go from eating 0 vegetables and fruits to eating 9 to 10, you are not going to like me very much right away. Fiber, it's real, but start gradually, right? Add that in. For some people, not everybody, but for some people, a type of vegetables called nightshades, which are tomatoes, red bell peppers, eggplants, those can cause some inflammation, and I see that clinically more with joint pain or spine pain. So if you're really struggling with like arthritis or issues with the joint and spine, look at nightshades. You can even Google those. Take them out for 2 weeks and just notice how you feel. But it can be a game changer for a lot of people. This is where food is medicine, and it's really powerful what we put on our plate. So I want you also to write down the environmental working group. It's an amazing website, the EWG. And they have a clean 15 list and a dirty dozen list. And you can download it. It's free. You can save it on your cell phone, and it will show you if you have to make decisions. Say you can't purchase everything organic right now for you or for your children. You can start with avoiding everything on the dirty dozen list. Dirty dozen means that these are the produce, the fruits and vegetables that are sprayed with the highest amount of pesticides. And so we want to avoid them if at all possible. It's usually things that we eat with the skin, but the highest ones are things like strawberries, spinach, apples, and grapes. Those we always want to buy organic. It is worth the extra money in there. Now, things on the clean 15, totally okay. You don't have to purchase organic, okay? They're lower in those pesticides. So things like avocados or onion or sweet corn or pineapples, those are going to be better that you could just get conventionally. So if you have to be really stretch your dollar and be a bargain shopper, those are tips to help you do that. So dirty dozen, avoid. Avoid like the plague. Clean 15, you can add those in. And then why do we talk about toxins? What does that matter? There's over 54 pesticides in conventionally grown strawberries, for examples. So 9 are possible carcinogens, cancer-causing agents. With my history, I'm like, oh, okay, don't want to do that. 24 are suspected hormone disruptors. How many women are struggling with hormone issues? How many women are struggling with fertility issues? Or PMS or painful periods or all of these things? The food that we're eating can contribute to that. 12 can be developmental or reproductive toxins, and 11 neurotoxins. And it gets a little scary when we're talking about things that are affecting our brain health. And 19 honeybee toxins. And we need our honeybees. We're going to be in trouble without them. They're a really important part of our food supply. The good news is that the body's designed to heal. And by reducing your overall pesticide exposure, just by switching and eating off of the clean 15 and avoiding the dirty dozen, you can reduce it by 80% in just 3 to 5 days. The body's designed to heal itself. I truly believe that. I believe we were divinely created, and when you give it the right foundations, healing happens. It's really cool. So we want to avoid the sugar, right? We know sugar is not the best, but I'm going to give you a swap. I'm not going to leave you hanging. Stevia is a really great substitute for that. So I love these stevia sweet leaf drops. You guys can see that. You can get them at Natural Grocers or United, and they are really great because they keep things lower glycemic. So it's a nice swap. If you wanted to put something, you can bake with it. It's amazing to have on hand. It's lower glycemic. For some people, even fruit can really spike people's blood sugar too high. So lower glycemic fruits, especially when we're looking at obesity or healing the hormones or blood sugar or digestion, it all goes back. Blood sugar controls a lot in our bodies. It goes back to doing lower glycemic fruits like green apples or pears or berries. And we want to eat healthy fats. Eat fat. The right kinds of fat, but eat more fat. The 80s really messed us up with that low-fat diet craze that we had going on. But I want you to eat nuts and seeds. I want you to eat coconut oil, coconut butter, avocado, olive oil, hummus. These are all going to be good sources of fat. 1, your brain is composed of mostly fat, so it helps. It's neuroprotective. 2, you have to have it to feel satiated, to feel full, so that way you're not having meals all the time. And 3, it tastes really good, right? Grass-fed butter. Here I am, I know, I'm telling you guys eat fat and butter and all this stuff, but it will really make a difference in how you feel, and we need to have fat. That's what our body will burn instead, and actually help start working on burning the fat instead of all of the carbohydrates and the refined carbohydrates.
There's no
It's all good, we're good. We're rolling, thank you. Hydration. Water. Are you drinking enough water? So this is interesting. Research done on epidermal wound healing shows that hydration status affects inflammatory signaling at the genetic level. So if you're drinking enough water, it helps with your inflammation. And we know inflammation is the source of a lot of dis-ease in the body there. So I looked and dug around in the research. I couldn't really find a perfect amount, and I don't think there is for everybody. I'm a big believer in bioindividuality and finding what works best for you and your needs with that. But ideally, half your body weight in ounces. But some people will need more water, around 3 liters a day. So see how you're feeling. Again, start slow and gradually increase. Filtered water is going to be the best. Avoid drinking out of plastic containers if you can, because it has BPA and different endocrine disruptors. And when we're talking about our fertility and things, ideally glass or stainless steel, perfect to drink out of that. It helps with constipation. All important things, right, to get the body moving, get the digestion going. Okay, now we're going to talk about letting go of unhealthy ingredients, and just stay with me. It's going to be fine. I got you. Okay, so processed food and chemical additives. Okay, we know that those have got to go. Gluten, we'll talk more about that. It's in a lot of things, and I'll tell you my reasonings why and the research that I found for that. Dairy, I will also tell you my reasonings why and the research for that. It's very interesting. And sugar, we talked about that, and we'll dive more into this. But the trans fats, the refined fats, the things like canola oil and vegetable oil, we want to swap those out. The genetically modified foods, that's why we're going to look at the Dirty Dozen list and go more organic with that. Alcohol, I know, buzzkill, right? But it turns into sugar. It's really hard on our hormones. And children should not be drinking alcohol anyways, so there you go. And caffeine. I know, I've got options for you. Stay with me. It's okay. It's really hard on the adrenal glands. So the adrenal glands are what pump out cortisol, that stress hormone. It's kind of like taking out a high-interest loan. Like, you can do that with caffeine, right? Yeah, but then you got to pay the piper back eventually, right? And it can be kind of depleting on the body. So if you don't recognize an ingredient, your body won't either. Love inflammation. So we're going to talk about these. We're going to dive deeper into all of these things here. Top 7 food sensitivities. Okay, write these down. This is not allergies. I'm not talking about taking an EpiPen and going into anaphylactic shock. I'm just talking about things that are causing underlying inflammation in your body. Gluten, dairy, soy, sugar, bless you, corn, eggs, and peanuts. This is not for everybody. I think you have to test it. It's bioindividuality. The inflammatory response from eating these foods can linger in your system for up to 3 weeks. I've seen some research on gluten, up to 6 months. So this is why my private health coaching clients will come in and say, but I only eat a yogurt once a week. I don't think I have an issue with dairy. Well, that inflammatory response can be lingering for 3 weeks after we had that yogurt. So this is why testing is really important. And my recommendation is cut it out completely for 30 days. It's like being pregnant. You either are pregnant or you're not pregnant, right? There's no in between pregnant. So it's kind of like when you're cutting it out for 30 days, you can't have a little bit of gluten. Just like you can't be a little bit pregnant. So take it out completely. You can do them all at once. The clients that come to me that are really sick and are like, just tell me what to do, we go a full-blown elimination diet. They all come out for 30 days and we reintroduce. Now that does require you to be a label-reading gangster because these are hidden in a lot of things, but you can do it. But what people notice, what I noticed, I had horrible acne. My hair was falling out in chunks. I just didn't feel good. My skin was gray. My cycles were crazy, anywhere from 13 days and then I was bleeding again, or it could go all the way up to 65 days. And just changing my diet. Now, nutrition, healing from within takes time. It's not sexy, right? I can't just hand you a pill and be like, here you go. But it does require some effort on your part. But 3 months after changing my diet, my hair came back, my skin cleared up. People could tell that I looked different. My cycles regulated to 28-day cycles. PMS, heavy cramping and bleeding, gone. Just changing my diet. So I'm here to tell you this stuff works. Let's talk about gluten. It's very inflammatory. See, you guys are missing this. I've got Buzz Lightyear and Woody for you. Talking about gluten, I'll just like keep popping it up so you guys can see how fun. So it's very, very inflammatory, and the research shows us that every single human being that eats gluten has a temporary inflammatory response afterwards. It just depends on how healthy you are, how quickly the body can turn over, how good your immune system is. The lining of the gut can turn over and heal every 7 to 10 days. So it just depends on whether or not how well you do with this. Now, the antibodies to gluten actually attack the thyroid. And the physician that opened, he was talking about, as an endocrinologist, they see a link with all of this. It's related to our hormones. He mentioned hypothyroidism. I see a lot of hypothyroidism, a lot of Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So my recommendation to you is if you have a thyroid issue or if you have symptoms of thyroid, like really thin hair, brittle nails, your hair's coming out in clumps, weight gain, especially around the middle, cold hands and feet, you're tired all the time, try going without gluten. Try taking it out. There's over 300 autoimmune diseases that are associated to a sensitivity with gluten. I'm not even talking about celiac. I'm just talking about a sensitivity with that. So the more that we switch to real whole food, right? The more that we come back to nature, the more that we shop around the perimeter of the grocery store, you're going to avoid those things very easily. And you're going to fully nourish your body, because a lot of children are eating a lot, right? But we're not getting that nutrition. And so if we're not getting any vitamins or minerals or nutrients from our food, the body's going to say, hey, we're still hungry. Give us some food. We didn't get any vitamins or minerals or fat or protein in that Skittle or whatever it is, you know? So that's why we have to kind of look at the whole thing. So ideally, avoiding the packaged foods. If you want to be healthy, cook. Come back, and I was a bad cook in the beginning. Bless my husband, I burned a lot of stuff, but I got better at it, right? It's like with anything. And there's a free iPhone app called Find Me Gluten Free, and you can download it, and it is amazing because it will tell you all of the restaurants or the stores in your area that you can find that have options for you. It is totally possible. I've been gluten, dairy, sugar-free for 5 years. I travel. I live a good life. It's totally possible, and I feel much better doing it. Actually, gluten and dairy I found out were triggers for my chronic migraines. Nobody could figure that out. Woo! I tried every medication. I tried surgery. I tried nerve block injections, and just changing my diet, I went from having migraines about 5 to 6 times a week to now 2 times a month, and I can control those with essential oils. Changed my life. Very cool. It's hidden in a lot of stuff, a lot of the good stuff, right? Gluten's in bread, it's in baked goods, it's in cereals, it's in salad dressings. This is why we have to be a label rating gangster and look at those things and ask questions, but it's empowering. It puts you in the driver's seat with your health there. Lots of symptoms of gluten intolerance. I'll read out a couple for you, but weight loss or weight gain, GI problems, gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea after you eat, achy joints, depression. The number one symptom in celiac disease is depression. How many people are on antidepressants? How many people were screened to see if they had a gluten sensitivity before they were put on that antidepressant? It's interesting. What we eat affects our mood. Headaches, exhaustion, infertility or irregular menstrual cycles, low iron levels can sometimes be associated with that too. Cramps, tingling, numbness, slow infant or child growth, all really important things. Okay, let's talk about dairy. Dairy is high in sugar. It can cause problems with your gut. Dairy intolerances can present as digestive symptoms again, congestion, skin inflammation. You know, when you get skin irritation, it all comes back to the gut. So that's coming out and letting us know, okay, we've got an issue going on here. And I specifically see dairy, it's very mucus forming. So if you're struggling with allergies, you get that phlegm in the back of your throat, those types of things, there could be a dairy sensitivity going on there. It's easy to swap. You can do a coconut milk. You can do a nut or seed milk. Very simple. I saw a really funny graphic, and it was saying something like, you know, as humans, we don't drink giraffe milk or, some of these other ones. And it's just a suggestion. Definitely, especially with asthma, I see clinically, or allergies, there's usually a dairy issue going on. And there's a lot of geeky, sciencey research here that you can't see, but you can watch the replay on YouTube. And you can have that there too. There's a lot of medical conditions linked to dairy consumption in children, whether that's constipation or insulin resistance. And if you have a diagnosis of celiac disease, you're more likely to be lactose intolerant. For a lot of patients, they go hand in hand with that. Foods containing dairy, anything that has lacto as a prefix. So looking for things like curd or pudding or custard, and even a lot of artificial flavors and colorings also have dairy in there. And then sugar. You guys are sweet enough already, right? You don't need that sugar. We know it's a contributing factor to a lot of different problems in the body, from insulin resistance to adrenal fatigue to weight gain to cancer. Found that out through my own personal journey, right? Lots of this. It's challenging because it's addictive. Sugar is more addictive than cocaine. So show yourself some grace, right, as you're coming off of that. Cut out those obvious sources, adding it to the coffee, to the tea, the sodas, the desserts, things like that. If you're eating more healthy fat, the sugar cravings go away because you're satiated. A lot of people are not eating enough food. And by that I mean protein, a healthy source of protein, ideally organic. If you can only go organic in one place, do it in your meats. Grass-fed beef, organic meat, healthy fats, and fiber. That's what your body needs and your blood sugar needs to stay balanced with that. So read the ingredients for added sugar. It's in your salad dressings. It's in your sauces. It's hidden in a lot of different places. Again, for some people, they may need to cut back on fruit for a little while and going to more of those low glycemic fruits like the green apples, pears, and berries. And use stevia. Stevia is a great replacement and works well for a lot of people. And you can calculate the sugar content. So there's 4 grams of sugar in about 1 teaspoon. So when you're reading ingredient labels and things, you can have that on hand. The American Heart Association recommends that we consume a maximum of 6 teaspoons, which is 24 grams of sugar. And it's hidden in a lot of stuff. Even honey, even maple syrup, even more natural forms, right, like dates and things that can be really high in sugar. And if you've got an underlying insulin resistance issue or a hormone issue or a health issue or something going on, maybe good to take it out for a little while. Not forever, but while you're healing, right, while we're working on those issues. So for children, we got to move, right? We talked about the food. Now we got to talk about movement too, because exercise is very important. These are all foundational pillars of health and wellness. So nutrition is one, movement is another. Do you guys know how many minutes a day kids are supposed to be physically active? 60. Yes. How many kids are moving for 60 minutes a day? How many kids are sitting in front of the screens? So working on this with aerobic activity, with muscle strengthening. It's recommended to do the muscle strengthening 3 days a week. That can be part of the 60 days. But this is 60 minutes, but it's 60 minutes of physical activity every single day. And I believe that starts with you being the inspiration, right? Especially as mothers and caregivers, we're the inspiration, we're the role models. We're the gatekeeper of to what food comes into our house, what we're cooking, what we're setting as an example. And what's really beautiful is when you become the inspiration, your whole house starts to heal and do that. Whether that's going out for a walk, you can make it fun, whatever ideas that you have there, getting them plugged into things that they love. Exercise should be fun. And kids are built to go outside and run and jump and play and climb trees and do all of that stuff. So it's time to move. This is really cute. See, I have a Frozen, I have Anna. Do you want to do a workout? Come on, let's go and play. Okay, you guys got to be the inspiration. Family walks. Make it fun. Be positive about it. If you're always talking about, oh, I don't want to go, that's what kind of attitude is your child going to pick up on that, right? They're going to feed into that. And this is a really awesome opportunity for you guys to have some family time together, to create some memories, to do some stuff. It's really awesome. So I want to encourage this with nutrition and with movement, with all of these things that we're talking to. towards today. Come to it with a place of curiosity and fun and how you can bring that and move that into your family. Okay, we're going to talk about essential oils because this is another thing to support you, something that I'm really passionate about. Essential oils are extracted plant material. They come from the plant. I like to think of them as the immune system of the plant. And they come from different parts: the bark, the seeds, the leaves, the stems, the roots. And what's really important with this is you have to choose a high quality essential oil. Very similar to our food, right? We just talked about the importance of organic food. So the majority of essential oils produced are actually perfume grade oils. They're used in perfumes and cosmetics, and oftentimes they are heavily adulterated, or they have additives or solvents in there. So we're talking about a synthetic fragrance versus a therapeutic, medicinal, pharmaceutically active oil. Very different with that. So you want a therapeutic grade pure essential oil. So I'm not talking about essential oils from Walmart or the health food store or anything like that. You want to make sure that those plants have been grown in their natural habitat, because an essential oil is only as good as its chemistry, and what helps with those chemical components. We know, any good farmer knows, that the soil, the humidity, the environment, even the time of day that that plant was harvested matters. So you want to make sure that they are third-party tested to make sure that they're free of fillers, pesticides, contaminants, heavy metals, because what you're going to be using as an essential oil, if you're putting that on your skin, our skin is our largest organ. It's going to be absorbed transdermally into the bloodstream. So we want to make sure that what we're using is pure, and check the label. And I have a really great example, which you can't see, but I'll talk you through it. This is an oil from the mall, and it says here in big bold letters, 100% pure and natural essential oil. Okay, should be good, right? If we flip it over, on the back, I'll read this to you. So it contains orange and lemon. Would you guys recognize oranges and lemons as food? Yeah, I would. So theoretically, if it's a pure essential oil, it should be safe to be taken internally if it is a lemon or an orange. But you know what this says? Flammable liquid, causes skin irritation, causes serious eye damage, may cause allergic skin reaction, may be fatal if swallowed, and enters airways, very toxic to aquatic life, keep away from flames, keep container tightly closed, this is not a toy, keep out of reach of children and pets, do not ingest. Fun. That gives you the warm fuzzies when you read that, right? You're like, yes, I want to use this in my home and put it all over my skin. Maybe not. So this is why flip it over. And if it's something that you recognize as food and you can't take it internally, put it down and slowly walk away. That is a synthetic fragrance. That is a frou-frou chemical thing. That is not a therapeutic grade oil. So things to look for on the label, because I want you guys all to be label reading gangsters. Whether that comes to your food or your supplements or your essential oils, quality matters. And you get what you pay for with these things. So look for the scientific name of the plants. Don't see the scientific name, walk away. You want to see a varying price for different oils. If everything is $2.99, run away. Okay, something like frankincense is a very, very special oil because of its sourcing. It comes from Oman and Somalia. You're not going to buy a frankincense for $2.99, or you're going to pick it up and it's going to smell like dirty feet. And you can tell by smelling things. Another thing about smell, if you smell it and every single oil smells the same, like every single peppermint smells the same, it was made in a lab. Nature didn't make that. Because you should be able to tell little bitty differences because of the plant material, right? Even the way that it was harvested, plants are like people. We're all people, but we all have differences, right? Different genetic makeup, different DNA with that. Look for an expiration date. Flip it over on the bottom. Is there an expiration date on there? And then look for a supplement fact or to see that it's used for cooking. We know that we use essential oils. They're in peppermint patties and different things. So if you're looking at something and that is not safe for internal use, do not put that on your body. And honestly, I wouldn't even want to inhale it because that's going into your lungs, that's going into the brain, all of those things. So there's 3 different ways to use our essential oils. There's aromatic, topical, and internal. And again, I just preface that only with a therapeutic brand safe for internal use. Don't do this with oils from the health food store. So aromatic, it's the easiest way. It's very effective. It triggers the brain, and it basically starts to create this dance within your neuroanatomy when you directly inhale an oil. So you can smell it right out of the bottle. My favorite's to do a palm inhale where you put a drop in your hands, rub them together, and cup over mouth and nose and inhale. Or you can have a diffuser. A diffuser is going to create this mist, and it's going to help with those aromatic compounds. So diffusing is going to be the best for respiratory support or emotional support. Or honestly, just to kick the chemicals to the curb, because we really don't need the sprays and the plugins and the all those things. Environmental Working Group, again, you can look there. They do ratings for things, and they talk about our cleaning products, the stuff that we're using in our home that we're spraying all over the place. That can really affect how we feel. And it's interesting when you read about those things. Topical, put it where it hurts. So if you're having discomfort, you can put that oil right where you need it. I recommend always using a carrier oil, especially for kids. We've got to dilute essential oils for kids. They're smaller than us. So having a carrier oil on hand with that, but they're quickly absorbed into the skin, and you just need 1 to 2 drops. A little bit goes a long ways with your essential oil, so less is more with that. And use your carrier oil. That could be a fractionated coconut oil, which is a liquid coconut oil. That could be an olive oil, a jojoba oil, almond oil. My favorite's fractionated coconut oil because it doesn't leave a strong scent, doesn't stain your clothes. But have that on there. Because when we dilute, it allows for maximum absorption. So if you put an oil on without a carrier oil, what we would call neat, we just put it straight, right? About half of that's going to be absorbed and half evaporated into the air. So if you use that carrier oil, you're going to get maximum absorption. You're going to get your best bang for your buck with that. Covers a greater surface area. If we're talking about low back or hips, use less oil, so it saves you money. And then it also just helps because some of the oils may be really hot, like oregano. You never want to put oregano straight on your skin. We all have an oregano story, and you will never do it again. But you will grab your carrier oil. People that tell me essential oils don't do anything, I just need to give them some oregano. Say, here, put this on. Let me know if that's placebo. That would be mean. Don't do that. I'm just joking. But essential oils are powerful. And then internal use. Again, please make sure that you talk with a holistic healthcare professional or with an essential oil educator first. It's not recommended for children under the age of 6. So 6 and above, if it's a therapeutic grade, can be taken internally. Not recommended for pregnant women either. For pregnant women, we want to dilute and use topically. Make sure you do your research. Again, that brand is safe for internal use. And you can take oils in a veggie capsule. That's one of my favorite ways to take them, is to put them in the capsule. I like to top with a carrier oil just to make it a little bit easier on the tummy and take those internally. You can take them with a meal. And the fun thing is essential oils can be used in cooking. So I love to cook with my oils. I love to add like a drop of cinnamon to my tea, or peppermint into my homemade brownies or cookies or things, or peppermint hot cocoa. And yes, you can enjoy all of those things without gluten, dairy, sugar. Promise. I've got recipes. So there's a lot of essential oils for metabolic support, specifically when we're talking about obesity and supporting ourselves. So cinnamon is a really amazing oil. Fennel. Also, fennel is really great, a drop under the tongue if you're having a sugar craving. Grapefruit, love adding grapefruit to my water. It's a really, really awesome oil for water retention and bloat. Cinnamon's really great for helping to support blood sugar levels. Lemon, any of the citruses like lemon or orange, one, they're going to make your water taste amazing, and we were just talking about how important it is to drink more water. So you can add those in to flavor your waters. And peppermint is awesome. So peppermint's another one you can put in your water. I just read some really interesting research about how just inhaling peppermint essential oil out of the bottle can actually reduce sugar cravings and reduce the amount of calories that you eat in a meal. Actually kind of feel satiated, kind of slows you down a little bit. So all the peppermint, right? It's an awesome oil to have. We often think of that for digestive support, but it can also help with those sugar cravings and feeling satiated and supporting you. So there's 5 oils that are my favorite for kids that I feel like are great to add into their routine. One is lavender. It's the all things calm. It helps with restful sleep. It helps with any type of irritated skin. Maybe you're out in the sun too long or you got too close to that stove and got yourself. Lavender is really, really great for that. Lemon. Lemon clears the airway, so it actually makes it easier for breathing. It's a great natural goo gone. You know, any of you guys have kids that they got gum in their hair or they took that crayon and drew all over your table. Lemon will take it right off. It's pretty amazing. Frankincense. Frankincense is the king of oils. It's also known as the baby Jesus oil. It's very calming. It helps with irritated skin. It helps to boost your immune system. And it also helps with clear breathing. And we joke and say, when in doubt, pull Frank out. If you have no idea what essential oil to use for whatever's going on, just use frankincense. You're good. Use frankincense. Melaleuca, this is very cleansing. This is also known as tea tree oil. You may have heard of tea tree oil. Very cleansing, very immune boosting. It helps with maybe you're having scratchy throat, or maybe your kid slipped and fell and got some cuts or scrapes. It's a really good one. And then peppermint again, great for upset tummy, great for clear breathing, very energizing, also very cooling. Say you have a little one with a high body temperature that you're trying to bring down. Peppermint is a really great oil to use for that. And then there's essential oils for restful sleep. Now, sleep is really important. So one night of poor sleep can make you more insulin resistant the following day. Whoa. Some of my private health coaching clients, we don't even start with food, we start with sleep. We get them sleeping better and we start to see their blood sugar levels improve. It's really fascinating. Sleep is so, so important. So things like lavender, again, very calming. Frankincense, very calming. Wild orange. And then some of the woodsier oils like cedarwood or vetiver or Roman chamomile. These are all great oils for sleep. So with your kids, you can dilute them and roll them on the bottoms of the feet and along the spine. These are great places to put your essential oils for kids. And then also you can diffuse. So you can put a couple drops of lavender on their pillow at night or have a diffuser and diffuse lavender in their room for that aromatic support. Makes a big difference, very calming, especially if maybe your child has bad dreams or wakes up in a panic or they just have trouble kind of calming down at the end of the day. You can just start your diffuser about 30 minutes before bed. You could add a drop of lavender to a bath. We have bedtime routines set, right? You can just kind of incorporate those essential oils with that when you're reading a book. It can really, really help. So these are the National Sleep Foundation sleep duration recommendations. And I'll read these to you, but they'll be in this recording. So for the toddlers, it's recommended, this is for 1 to 2 years, 11 to 14 hours of sleep a night. For the preschool age, which is 3 to 5 years old, 10 to 13 hours of sleep a night. And then for school age, 6 to 13, 9 to 11 hours of sleep per night. For our teenagers, 8 to 10. So a lot of kids are not getting enough good, restful sleep. And so that starts with incorporating getting a good bedtime routine. That's going to help with their focus. That's going to help with their energy. A lot of people, the number one thing that you can do to help with your energy is start getting better sleep. And we can use essential oils as a tool to help with that. But sleep is going to help with weight loss and mood and a whole lot of other things. And then this was a really interesting research article that I came across. Household cleaning products may contribute to kids' overweight by altering their gut microbiota. So that it can actually, household cleaners may trigger childhood obesity. So this is, again, when we're looking at those environmental toxins, right? We lock up our cleaners. We put safety locks on those things. We don't want our kids getting into that. We wear masks and gloves, and we don't even touch that stuff, right? There's something wrong with that, right? You can clean your whole house with baking soda, white vinegar, and a little bit of lemon. Or On Guard. I love On Guard. That's another oil that's really great. But Melaleuca, any of these things, you can use essential oils as tools, and you won't be coughing. You won't have to hold your breath. You won't have to get out the gloves, and it's going to be safer for your kids. So these are those environmental endocrine disruptors that are affecting our hormones. These are those synthetic fragrances. And I read a really great article recently talking about how synthetic fragrance is the new secondhand smoke. So it's something to kind of look at. This is an easy swap, because once you just swap that out, it's very quick and easy. I have lots of videos on YouTube actually how to make your own cleaning products. It saves you a ton of money. And then you're done. You're like, hey, I made my own glass cleaner. Boom. And then you're done. And you can go and work on those other things. The other things, the exercise, the nutrition, the sleep, those are things that we work on regularly. They become new rituals and habits. But these are simple swaps that once you get rid of those toxins and chemicals, you're done. You're done. And then this is a really fascinating thing too, for us and for our children, emotions and essential oils. I came to essential oils for physical support, but it was actually the emotional piece that was so powerful to me, because when you inhale an essential oil, it stimulates the limbic system through the olfactory nerve, the olfactory bulb. And the limbic system is what controls our heart rate, our blood pressure, our breathing, our memory. You know how you may smell something and then be taken back to a memory of your grandmother? Stress and other emotions. So that sense of smell is a direct link into your central nervous system. The only other thing that does that is music. So I actually like to combine them both together. But it's a powerful tool. How often are our kids stressed? There's so much pressure on them in school, or bullying, or prepping for the new testing that's going on in the schools. If we can have tools that empower them, that they can pull out, that they can inhale, that they can put on, working with deep breathing work, all of those things, that's a very powerful option for them to have. I think it's so important for us to look out for the emotional health of our children. And then there's different pillars for optimal health. So you want to eat real whole food, again, that we talked about. So this is we're driving it home now. We're going to stay hydrated with clean filtered water. You're going to find some form of movement that you love to do and do it daily. Maybe you go to a dance class with your child, or go outside, take a walk, anything like that. Go to the zoo, make it fun for them. Take time for rest and self-care. I'm speaking to you mamas on this, okay? Because I was a burned out, stressed out healthcare professional, and it's so important for you guys to take time for you too, to rest and for self-care. It's an act of survival, in my opinion. Spending time in nature, going outside, very, very powerful, very, very healing. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Find something to laugh at. I do believe that laughter is the best medicine. Breathe. When we're feeling stressed out, you can teach this to your children, right? Oftentimes when we're feeling stressed, we stop taking a deep breath, right? We feel like we're holding our breath, or that we can't take a deep breath. So going back to the basics, going back to the breath is really powerful, and staying in the present moment as much as possible. So a few more quick tips. Pack school lunches. That's very, very important. Cook more meals at home. So pack those lunches for your kids. Get them involved. Have them help pick out what they want to eat in their lunches or have at home. Have them help you cook. It's a really awesome experience for them, and you're giving them these life skills that are going to be really important. Limit the TV and the screen time, and encourage them to get up, move for 60 minutes a day, go outside, and be the inspiration for them, because it starts with them. This is all of my resources here, and I have cards. So if you guys want to talk more about this, I think we have some time for Q&A, because I was told I have an hour. Perfect. Yes. Please do. So you can stop over. We're in the booth with the essential oils. You can't miss us. We have lights. Follow your nose. We smell really good. Head over there. I really feel like you actually need an experience with the essential oils. So stop by. We'll put oils on you. We'll answer questions. We're offering complimentary 20-minute health and wellness consults. So if you want to get with me or one of the amazing people on my team, Susan's over here. She's a registered nurse. And then some of you guys know Pam. We would love to help and support you. We can dive deeper into specific things too there. But you can pick up my card, and it's got all this information. But I have a website. I'm on Facebook. I have an education group on Facebook called Learning with Dr. Laura. And I teach a virtual class once a month. The class up right now is on estrogen and women's health. And then I have a YouTube channel. I have over 400 videos on health and wellness and essential oils on YouTube. So you can just search my name, Dr. Laura Ricci, and pull that up and look there. But I do want to give you guys some time for questions. And also thank you for hanging in with me with all the tech issues and all the things there. But this video will be up on my YouTube channel too. So you can go back and see all the pretty slides and that stuff too. Do you guys have any questions so far?
I would be interested in some of your recipes. You said don't eat everything. You said don't eat.
Yeah.
I do eat. So I was wondering what you ate like for a breakfast, dinner, lunch, kind of thing.
Yeah. You guys want to hear what I ate today? Let's talk. Okay. So for breakfast this morning, I had 2 scrambled eggs. Now they're organic, and I did do the testing, right? So I know that I actually do fine with organic eggs if I rotate them, but if they're not organic, I actually get a headache after I eat. So quality matters for me. So I did 2 scrambled eggs with a little bit of ghee. Ghee is clarified butter. So it's basically the butter that the dairy proteins have been removed. It's really popular in India. I took 2 big handfuls of leafy greens and threw those on top. I took some broccoli slaw, some organic broccoli slaw. It's like broccoli and carrots and I think cabbage. I actually found that at Walmart. Walmart has a growing organic section. I was in there to buy yoga pants and was like, ooh, broccoli. Throw that in my cart. So I put big handfuls of that on top, cooked that all up, a little bit of turkey sausage. Got that from Natural Grocers. And then I added some big spoonfuls of salsa and a big scoop of avocado. And that was my breakfast. And when you start to balance your blood sugar, and you have that protein, fat, and fiber, you are full for 4 hours. You do not get the crashes like you do. I can go all the way to lunch and feel good and have good energy. So my lunch I actually packed because I didn't know what we were having here. So I put a big salad with more of the broccoli slaw. Love that stuff. Just get the organic greens, throw it in. And then I made a homemade chicken salad with some organic chicken breasts that I cooked in the Instant Pot. There's a tip for you. Buy an Instant Pot. I asked for that for Valentine's Day last year, and that was the best gift ever. Oh my gosh. If you want to cook quick, healthy meals, throw that in there. It works really great. But I cooked the chicken in there. I put some celery, some walnuts, some green apple, like just diced it up, put it in there, some Dijon mustard, and then like a paleo mayonnaise. Like they have all avocado oil mayonnaise, different mayonnaise at Natural Grocers. You can make your own. And mixed it all up. It's amazing. My husband is a meat and potato guy, and he loves this. So that's my lunch. Quick and easy to have that on hand. And dinner is usually like some type of protein and some type of vegetables, like roasted vegetables or things. Like tonight I'm making a spaghetti squash carbonara with some spaghetti squash, some coconut milk, some parsley, some onion. We cook it all up, and then I'll buy ham from Natural Grocers. You could use whatever type of protein that you want. I try to rotate, I'll do chicken or ham and fish and different things and mix it all up. It's really good. So I have, if you're on Instagram, you can follow me over on Instagram, or I'm also on Facebook, Dr. Laura Ricci, and I post recipes. I post tutorials on YouTube of how to make healthy foods, and there's a recipe section on my website. But I love paleo cookbooks because they're automatically gluten-free, grain-free, and dairy-free. So it makes it really easy. But honestly, guys, Google whatever you're looking for. Like if you want to make Parmesan chicken, Google paleo Parmesan chicken, or Google paleo macaroni and cheese, or whatever that is. And lots of options will come up for free. Pinterest is a great place to try recipes. And I just really encourage you to make it fun. Most of us, we rotate through about 10 recipes, right? If we really think about it, like we've got our 10 go-tos that we do every day. Like maybe it's tacos or spaghetti or something. So if you make little swaps, and if you just think about it as, I just need to find like 4 or 5 recipes that my family loves, then it doesn't feel overwhelming, like I have to completely change everything that I'm eating. So that's what I would encourage you guys. Take one thing from this talk. One thing. Start there. Maybe that was drink more water. Maybe that was, I'm going to work on sleep, or maybe that is, I'm going to work on reducing my sugar intake, or whatever that is. Start with one thing. If you try to do everything, it's overwhelming. So you get really good at the one thing, and you build that confidence, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to add this in. And then we go a little bit more. And we slowly, gradually work on that. But I think I just posted a pumpkin spice latte on my Facebook page. A recipe there. That's really good because there's so much sugar in the stuff from Starbucks. Yes? I think you have to read the ingredients, like with sugar-free creamers. You can make your own. I love to put like a scoop of the full-fat canned coconut milk because you're getting fat, and some of the sweet leaf stevia drops. They've got English toffee, they've got vanilla, they've got really amazing ones. Put some pumpkin pie spice or cinnamon or whatever you like in there. Put a drop of cinnamon, essential oil, something in there, and you can make it really fun and whip it up. And notice you start to feel better because you're not on that blood sugar roller coaster anymore where you're eating something and then your sugar spikes too high and then you're crashing. You just start to notice that you feel satiated and you feel good and your energy's good.
So artificial sweeteners.
No to the no. Artificial sweeteners. There's some research about it being neurotoxins for the brain. It's read your ingredients really, really well. So I like stevia. I like xylitol. I like erythritol. Buy organic on those. You can find those at natural grocers. Even some of the stuff like the Truvia and this and that. When you read the ingredients, there is stuff in there other than stevia, and I'm like, natural my honey. Like read the ingredients really, really well with everything. And my go-to is stevia for a lot of it, because like even the honey, I just see that spike so many of my private health coaching clients, their blood sugar. These are good questions. You guys have any more? Yeah.
And when you say dilute the oil, can you like put the olive oil or whatever on before and then put that on top of it?
Yeah, use a carrier oil. So you can do either, you can put a drop of oil in your hand and you can add some fractionated coconut oil, kind of rub it together and rub it on. You could put the carrier oil on first and then add a drop of essential oil. My favorite is to make roller bottles. And so when people get started with the oils, we actually teach them how to make rollers. It's very simple and it stretches your dollar, because for kids, depending on the age, 3 to 5 drops. So you just add your roller, add a couple drops of the essential oil, top it off with your carrier oil, put that little roller on, and they now have a roller that they can take to school, that they can have by their bed, and it just becomes a habit. They start putting their oils on the bottoms of their feet when they put their socks and shoes on. And I love the rollers because it's less messy, it's really kid-friendly, and then they've got a tool, something that you as a mom can throw into your bag or your purse. And stop over by the vendor table. We can show you those too. We're very big in empowering people and educating people on how to safely use the oils. And we have a private Facebook group just for people when they get started with the oils to get that. I also hop on a one-on-one call with you. Or you come to me, I come to you, and we teach you exactly how to use them. They will not sit on a shelf and collect dust. Because one, it's not going to serve you, right? If you're going to invest in your health and wellness and then you are fearful that you don't know what to do with these, it's not going to help. So we come in and support and educate. I think that's really, really important. Was this helpful? Yes. Hopefully it wasn't too overwhelming. But I think it's so important to be an empowered patient, an empowered mom. And there's so many things that we can do with lifestyle that can make really big changes. And it doesn't have to be east or west. This is what I love about bringing it all together, taking the best of Western medicine and the science and the research that they're bringing in, and taking the best that we have with functional nutrition and essential oils and things, and combining it. I feel like that's where we get the biggest wins, because so many times we as patients go to the doctor and we feel like, well, fix me. You're not broken. You just have to bring stuff back into balance. And this is why I love where you become the CEO of your health and healing and come from a very empowered place, and you partner with your doctor and your healthcare professional, but you know your body better than anybody else. You know your body, and your doctor is the expert in medicine and knowledge of the body, and you come together as a partnership for your health and healing. And that's where I believe the miracles start to happen. Okay, we have a couple more minutes, I think, or they're going to come kick me out. I don't know. But I will be here. I will hang out if you guys have questions, if I can help and support you, or head over to the table. We'll be at the table all day. So whether you want to schedule a complimentary 20-minute wellness consult and I can sit with you and I can go over that, whether you want me to follow up with you, I can get your contact information. We can schedule that at another time. But just stop by. We'll put some oils on you. You can smell them. You can answer your questions. If I can help support you in any way, let me know. Thank you for being here.